Second, we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to guide us to the straight path. You probably thinking that why we need to ask the guidance, we are misguided before? No. Because any time, any second, person can slip to wrong direction. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, on your road of life, there are so many exits to right and left, and Shaitan is standing on every exit. And sometime when you drive and you see the people standing with a different weird type of board, and they are doing promotions, and they move the board, and sometimes they have an arrow and they ask you to look at this direction, right? All the guys standing and doing and making weird pictures just to gain your attention and ask you to look at this direction. There is a sale going on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran that Shaitan comes and innama ya'idukum shaitan. He comes and he promises people. He whispers them. He brings attraction to them. وَزَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَعْمَالَهُم. He beautified the wrong things. He appreciated. He helped. He pushed. He showed the sign. He make people busy. He brings the laziness. He brings the opportunity to do wrong. But Shaitan does not physically push you, will not take your hand to take you somewhere. No, you make the decision yourself. All he can do is only show you the instructions or show you the different ways. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you ask Allah to guide you and keep you on the straight path, because any time, any moment, somebody can be misguided. And Shaitan, much smarter sometimes. And he changed colors and he changed his, tricks, and he comes from every direction. Some scholars mention a story that one time Shaitan came in human shape to Imam Abdul Qadir Jilani, rahmatullahi alayhi. And while he was making ibadah, and Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, was very righteous and very great man, wise, full of wisdom, zuhud, taqwa. So Shaitan came in the shape of man and he said, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, come on. Slow down, man. You've been worshipping Allah so long, and you've been remembering Allah and asking His forgiveness. You haven't done anything wrong. Forgiveness for what? You never did anything wrong. You do not commit wrong. You don't rob banks or do something big, major things. Why are you asking forgiveness? For what? And you have asked Allah enough and take some rest. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, he thought that, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who did not have any sin, who was ma'asum anil khata, he used to ask Allah's forgiveness 100 times a day. Inni astaghfirullah wa atubu ilay mi'atu marra fi kulli yawmin wa layla, as Prophet mentioned. So Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani said, this guy is, misguiding me or advising me with the wrong thing. So he said, A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. That guy, the shaitan, he starts smiling, laughing. He said, that's amazing. And Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani asked him what happened. He said, you are such a great scholar. I am Shaitan. I came today to misguide you, to stop you from asking Allah's forgiveness. And I trick you. But you know what? You are smart, your knowledge saved you. And Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Again. And then the guy disappeared. Why? Because the shaitan make a second attempt. And second time he tricked him that he was telling him that your knowledge saved you, not Allah. So he can feel proud and he can be big. My knowledge, I'm smart, my knowledge saved me. You see how shaitan comes and do things? And that was not the first time that shaitan came in the shape of a man. That happened before him. Shaitan literally came to the people of Wad, Su'a, Yaghus, Ya'uq and Nasr. In Surah Nuh, there is a story, La tadrunna waddan wala su'a'an wala Yaghus wa Ya'uq wa Nasra. If you go to read the tafsir of those ayat, Shaitan literally came and he spoke with the people. And he guided them to put the picture of Wad, Su'a and Yaghus and Ya'uq and Nasr, the righteous people, so you can worship them. Literally he came as a facial. Also in Makkah, one time, people of Makkah, they got together in one house and they bring everybody in Makkah. And they say, you know what? Today is the day of final decision that we're going to take a solution against Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Something we're going to do, unanimously. So the ijlas started. One guy stood up and he said, we should, send him out of Makkah. So there was a guy, stranger, he was not from Makkah, a big beard, white beard, very respectful face, sitting. And the people of Makkah, they were thinking maybe a wise guy came from somewhere, from Yemen or something. So that wise guy stood up and he said, well, I have more experience than you guys. And I am more older than you guys. If you send Muhammad to outside the Makkah, he's going to start preaching over there and he will build a power and will come back to fight with you. No good idea. So somebody stood up and he said, we can lock him up in the house. That old guy stood up again. He said, if you lock him up in the house, people will have sympathy for him. And that's not going to happen. That's not a good idea. He sat down. And slowly, people talk and every time he stood up and tell them not good idea. And then Abu Jahl stood up and he said, I have opinion that we take one man from every tribe. One man from every tribe, and all together we attack physically on him at one time. So the blood will spread in every tribe. Nobody will ask to do anything. That old guy stood up and he says, that's it. That's it. This is the best opinion ever. He was Shaitan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make him Zaleel. He also appeared in physical shape while Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was going to Badr and the people of Makkah was coming to Badr. And one time they changed their mind and they say, why we should fight? You just leave it, change. They was very close to change the idea. And that the man, he stood up in the front of them and said, you know why? I have experience. I'm telling you, today is the time. You're already out from your house And let's do it. Otherwise, Muhammad getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So he came again. So my point is, sometimes Shaitan comes and whisper and do certain things. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us in Quran to seek refuge in Allah from Shaitan every day, every moment. And he could, whisper people. And sometimes Shaitan comes in the shape of other man, minal jinnati wan nas, as Allah said in Quran. So the second thing we need to ask Allah to show us the straight path and keep us on the straight path. That's the second thing we need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.